2 square miles, population of just under 900 people. It's not really even a city, it's more like a town. No stoplights, no restaurants, no gas stations. So why is it the first place that I'm telling you? Because it is the closest town to Breckenridge, one of the top ski resort areas in all of Colorado. The closest town to Breckenridge where you can still legally do short-term rentals, which makes it pretty valuable in my opinion. That town is Blue River. So many of the places that you might consider the best Colorado towns, you can't actually do it. Breckenridge is an awesome town, but they have caps on the number of short-term rentals, and they are well past those caps. When I'm looking for places for my short-term rental investor clients, the people that want second homes that they can also rent out when they're not there, I am looking first and foremost at towns where you can actually do short-term rentals. Key, right? You should know that in Colorado, the Airbnb or the short-term rental laws are city and county specific. This patchwork of STR rules all across the state. It's also one of the reasons why you should work with a real estate agent that understands all of these rules. So what's awesome about Blue River is it's only a 5-minute drive to Breckenridge, but it is its own incorporated town, and they do allow for short-term rentals. If you found any of this helpful so far, you can like and subscribe. You know the drill. Also, if you're interested in a short-term rental or a second home here in Colorado, reach out. Let's talk about the second city or town on this list of the best Colorado cities for short-term rentals and Airbnb. This town is actually not so much a town, it's an area. It's kind of a collection of 2 different cities, although you're really buying in the unincorporated county areas. It's just west of the state's second biggest city, Colorado Springs. It has a lot of new construction in certain areas. The prices are a little bit better and the STR rules are very favorable. And the town that I am talking about is Divide and Florissant. I told you I was kind of cheating. It's not actually any one area. Divide, Florissant, even Cripple Creek I would throw in there. They're all in Teller County where the STR rules are super favorable. In fact, they don't have any rules whatsoever. You don't even have to get a license to do a vacation rental there. You know, if you were just west of Denver, that's a very popular area for short-term rentals, right? Well, so would the area just west of the second biggest city in the state, which is Colorado Springs. In fact, Colorado Springs is going to outstrip Denver in terms of population. So I like being adjacent to these big areas, and the mountains to the west of Colorado Springs have a lot going for it. Not everybody knows that yet, which gives you some opportunity, but there's Mueller State Park out there, which is beautiful. There is 11 Mile Reservoir. There's Spinney Mountain Reservoir, which is gold medal fly fishing, some of the best fly fishing in the country. And then there's the benefit of it not being nearly as costly as if you were buying just west of Denver. I would not say it's cheap. If you live in Iowa or Missouri or anywhere in the Midwest, you're going to have a little bit of sticker shock, but that is true for everywhere in Colorado. And I would say relative to some of the other mountainous areas that are really popular for short-term rentals, this area is still relatively affordable. All right, let's dive into the third town. And I chose this town because it is the best town next to Denver that still allows for short-term rentals. I should say, I guess, that almost every area that I know of, every city, every county allows for Airbnb if it's your primary residence, but most areas do not allow it if it's an investment property. That's why this list is helpful, because what you really want to do is find the pockets where you can do this as an investment property. And it's important to know that the city of Denver, which is obviously the biggest attraction in Colorado, you can't do it in Denver. You cannot do short-term rentals in a non-owner occupied property. It has to be your primary residence. And so what's interesting is to try to find one of the cities that is connecting, that's right around Denver, where you can do non-owner occupied short-term rentals. There's actually a few different areas that we could talk about, but the town that I'm talking about is directly west of Denver. In fact, if you were to take 38th Avenue heading out of Denver, west towards the mountains, and you crossed into this city, you wouldn't even know that you had crossed over. It feels like you're in the same city. The town that I'm talking about is Wheat Ridge. Again, it is directly west of Denver. Got a lot of development going on, a lot of new construction. I've got a client under contract right now on a 4-bed, 3-bath, new construction townhome that is going to do really well. And then, just like all the other towns on this list, it is STR friendly for now. I'll talk about that here in a second. Like I said, Denver doesn't have it doesn't allow you to do short-term rentals, and so you've got this artificial cap on the number of vacation rentals in that area. So it's nice to be able to find a place like Wheat Ridge where you can do it. Now, the thing about Wheat Ridge is they cap the number of short-term rental permits based on a city council district. So every city council district, I believe, allows up to 2%, don't quote me on that, 2% of the housing stock in that district to be short-term rentals. So 3 of the districts are at that cap. They are just off the table right away. There is still, however, 1 district that has STR permits available. Last I checked, it was 12. So not a lot. They tend to go in fits and spurts. I mean, there'll be 6 months where no one takes up one of these STR permits, and then out of nowhere, 2 or 3 of them are gone. If you're interested in that, reach out to me. So Wheat Ridge is a great example of my favorite criteria when I'm looking at cities for STRs, and that is that they have a cap that they haven't met yet. I love to be able to get my clients into properties where they can do short-term rentals, but at some point the competition will be cut off. That's just ideal, right? I mean, that's business 101. If I can just artificially stop all other businesses that might compete with me, great, that's a win, right? And this next area that I'm talking about has that same thing. It is northwest of Denver. They actually just passed a law to further expand allowing for short-term rentals, and this area is Boulder County. You might have heard of Boulder, the city, the town. It's where the Colorado University is. Anyway, cool town. I mean, just a quintessential college town with a cool pedestrian walkway, Pearl Street, with tons of bars and restaurants and shops. In Boulder City, you can't really do it. It has to be your primary residence. But Boulder County and the mountains west of Boulder, they do now allow for short-term rentals. They just passed a law in 2024 that does allow for it. Now, they have split the county, and one of the districts is a little closer to the city of Boulder, and they have a cap on the number of short-term rentals there. It is a lower cap because it's closer to Boulder. They want to retain housing for workforces there. The other district is a little further away from Boulder. They also have a cap on the number of STRs, but it's a larger cap. As of now, there are a decent number of STR permits in both of those western areas, and I think it's a great opportunity. There's tons of hiking there. There's the cool little mountain town of Nederland. Fishing's up there. Skiing as well. Eldora is kind of a smaller resort there that's cool. You're also pretty close to Winter Park, and then you're also close to the city of Boulder, which is a huge attraction for a lot of people. And again, I like Boulder County because if you get in some point in the future, that cap is going to cut off any other competition. I do think this list is pretty good for a couple of the different criteria that I've already mentioned, but there's a lot of different areas in Colorado where you still can do short-term rentals as an investment or have a second home that you come to visit but you rent out on Airbnb when you're not there. It is a shrinking pool of cities and counties that you can do it in, but there are areas.